Pod of Tea podcast, your go-to place for teas and chats. I'm your host Emma, and I'm joined this fair eve by...
Jack.
Jack. Needs no further introduction, Jack.
You all know who I am.
We know you. You introduced the last episode for my birthday.
I did.
What a treat. What a treat that was.
It was great. I don't know how the episode turned out. I only started listening to it the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm about 5 minutes in, so...
It was very different. It was a very different setup. Obviously, the mic, there was some different volumes and things going on, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I've seen some people have had a little listen, a little perusal. But we are back to our normal format. We're back in our home, and we have got a tea that was gifted to us, but as in a present, not a company. So this was a present from Will.
Will, yes.
This is one of the Will teas, one of the many... I think you got 3 for Christmas, so shout out to Will and Kathy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For this tea. We are having the Sandringham Time Tea, which, according to this bag, is a black tea, and that's all we're getting.
All right.
We just know it's a black tea. So I don't want to take too long in this, because it has been a brewing. Jack was just saying, just before we started recording, about how now he's gotten older, it takes him much longer to do anything.
I was speculating that.
Yeah.
I was like, I've noticed over the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks, whenever I need to do anything, as long as it's not like we're going out or we've got an actual time to meet, if it's like I've got to set up my computer to do something, or if I've got to like sort the DVDs out on the DVD shelf, the new ones that we got, it takes me ages to get ready now. I faff, I go make a cup of tea, and then I'll go to the toilet, and then I notice that I've got something in my teeth, so I start brushing my teeth, and then I'm like, what am I doing now? And then I'm like, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was doing it, and it just takes me ages, and I don't know if it's an age thing.
I don't know, because like we're pretty much the same age, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
I was ready. I was prepared. So there's that. So let's pour the tea. So it says it tastes best with milk. So should we go straight in with the milk?
Yes.
I mean, it's a black tea. It'd be rare, except for like Earl Grey. I rarely drink a black tea.
I'll admit, this is like milk. Tea number 8 or so for me today.
And this is caffeinated. But
I've had decaf.
The other teas have been decaf. Yeah. There wasn't much milk in one of those, so... could you do the honours, Jack?
You want me to do the pour?
Could you do the pour? The ceremonious pour. Today we're using the teapot that's got the strainer in it. This is a loose leaf tea. Oh, it looks really nice.
Yeah, look,
that's a nice colour.
That's a pretty perfect coloration.
That looks like a classic brew, my friends.
I'll have the stronger one.
Gonna have a little smell. That smells like a cup of tea.
Ooh, how hot is it?
I don't think it'll be too hot.
It's pretty hot. Ooh.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to have to wait till my throat eases up to taste that again.
Oh, I'm so happy. There is definitely a difference in taste between decaf tea and normal tea, and I'm drinking a lot of decaf tea at the moment, and I miss normal tea.
It definitely has like a different taste, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not as satisfying. It's really not. It's good.
Wait, which way round are you doing that?
Decaf is not as satisfying.
I'd say it's not as satisfying taste-wise.
No.
But the actual feeling I get from it is... caffeinated tea ruins me.
Like, oh dear.
Well, whenever I go to work, I'll have like a caffeinated, just a regular English breakfast tea bag.
Yeah.
And afterwards I'm like, I'm buzzing. Like, it feels like I've just had like an energy drink or something. It's crazy.
I'm going to have a little smell of the tea from this tea bag here. So like the bag, the loose leaves in. That smells really nice.
Let's have a little whiff.
It's a classic black tea.
Ooh.
It's the leaves are really small, like it's quite a fine.
Yeah, it's like powder. It looks like soil.
Yeah. It's not the chunky, like if we lift the lid off the pot. Oh, that's hot. Which makes sense. Yeah. It's not...
It looks like mulch.
It's not as fine as the Kenya Capco tea.
No.
We've finally drunk all of that.
Have we actually finished that?
I think so. It is gone. It was lovely. We might have to get more. This one, I can definitely see the tea leaves, so it's not like a powder or anything. But they're small.
Yeah.
They are small. So this is from Nelson and Norfolk. the tea and coffee merchants. And I didn't realise that this is a company I've bought tea from and reviewed before, which was the...
That's why I asked when you brought that one out. I was like, have we done this one before? Because I looked at the packaging. I was
it's the same packaging. It's the Little Snoring
company. Oh, that's it.
Which is a company that I found when I went to the...
it was a festival, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the Norfolk show, which we explained previously, where all the farmers gather. All the farmers of Norfolk, and then other local businesses and things like that all gather, and the food hall is one of the best things about it. You just walk around and you get loads of samples. You know, I love a food hall, Jack.
I do.
It was great. There's a nice story behind this tea, the Sandringham Time Tea. Can you guess what it might be? Have you read the packet?
I read the first couple of words.
Okay.
Guess. To do with King Edward?
Yes.
That's it.
That's all you know.
That's all I got.
Okay, I'm going to read the whole spiel that is on here. Sandringham Time Tea, a refreshing traditional tea. Mm-hmm. Sandringham Time was the inspired idea of King Edward VII, who altered the clocks on his estate at Sandringham in Norfolk to half an hour ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. This was the official time on the estate between 1901 and 1936. Today we have brought back the idea of taking half an hour out of your day to enjoy a wonderful and traditional cup of tea.
Oh.
Isn't that nice? But how mad is that? Only a king could go, I shall change the time.
But why?
So, I googled this. I had a quick look.
Why. It didn't explain why, though.
So, there's two reasons. The rumour was that it was to assist Queen Alexandra, who was constantly late. That's quite funny. So by doing that, which everyone's done, I'm sure you've done that thing where you change your watch, the car time, so that you get somewhere on time. Mm-hmm. However, it was really apparently, I don't know, I haven't really apparently spoken to King Edward VII personally, so I don't know.
King Edward II?
7th.
Oh, 7th. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, it was for more evening daylight for hunting in the winter.
More evening daylight.
Yeah. So
wait. I need to wrap my head around this.
They wanted it to be light longer so they could stay out hunting for longer.
In winter, though?
Yeah.
When there's less light in the evening?
Yeah. So if you put the clocks forward, you get up earlier. The day it's the same as when the clocks change.
Oh, I see. So yeah, you'd get up earlier and then you'd start.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. I
you could carry on hunting until 5:30.
Yeah.
But it's technically 5 o'clock everywhere else in England.
Yeah.
But so in your mind...
Then you can go back and not miss out on anything.
Yeah.
That's quite clever, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well done.
Well done. And you inspired this tea.
It is... How do you feel about clocks changing? Is this a thing, so people who are listening or maybe listening that aren't from the UK, do the clocks change everywhere, or is it just us who have daylight saving?
I think everywhere does.
Everywhere changes.
Yeah, but I obviously I'm not too educated on this, but I think it's to do... I think each country has their own kind of methods.
Okay.
Of when they change.
Because we change it for farming, don't we? So you've got longer... During harvest, you've got longer...
That's what I mean. It's like different agricultural stuff, so it'll be different in different countries, but I think they all do it. But
I do believe they say now... It's not as necessary, and it's more just habit. Are you a farmer listening to a Pod of Tea podcast? If so, could you let me know if daylight saving makes your life easier? So, how do you find? Because one of our friends I know in particular has very strong negative feelings towards the clocks changing. Dave.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with him, and he said it really disrupted his routine and he didn't enjoy it. I was
going to say the exact opposite. I don't mind it because it disrupts my routine. So I'm like, I'm going to have to get up at this time or I get to lie in and it just changes things. I don't mind it. Never really minded it.
I never know when the clocks are going to change. Shall I find out? When is it going to change?
I always just find out for other people.
The thing that makes me remember which way round it goes is an Americanism, which is spring forward, fall backwards.
Right, yeah.
So in spring, the clocks go forward, so at 5 o'clock it's suddenly 6 o'clock, so that means that you have to get up earlier, so that's a pain.
Well, there you go. See, America does it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So America must do it because they say fall,
we say
autumn. But yeah, so I always know in spring I'm always like, because I like to try and get up quite early.
Wait, what was the saying again? Spring?
Forward.
Fall.
Backwards.
Spring forward, fall backwards.
Yes.
It's a play on word. You can't say spring forward, autumn backwards. No.
No.
Because it's springboard forward,
yeah.
fall backwards.
Spring is used in both instances, so that's fine. But it's the falling that makes you think of falling backwards. But yeah, there's been many a year where, because I try and get up quite early. Not by get up, I mean as in open my eyes, not physically get out of bed. But I try and wake up early so that I can get a cup of tea and sit in my bed and read or do something that's for me before I go to work. I did yoga the other morning.
Yeah.
Will that continue much further? I used to before I was pregnant. I got quite good at getting up early and doing some yoga in the morning. That has gone out the window, but I had a little bit of yoga the other day, which was really nice, and it just sets you up really well. So when the clocks change and I lose that hour, instead of getting up at like 6, I'm getting up at like 5, and that does make all of that a lot more tricky. Yeah,
if just moving on to getting up. Let's talk about that for a second. I always find that like I go through phases. You probably will be like, no, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was younger, I did. Like I used to get up really, really early. Like I would set an alarm for like 3:30 in the morning.
Really?
Get up.
I've never known you to do that in almost 9 years.
But it was when I was like in school. So I'd get up really early because there was this cartoon called Fly Tales that played on Channel 4, and it started at 6 or 5:30 or something, and they'd play like 4 episodes, and they're all like 15 minutes long each. And this show used to fascinate me because it was a kids show. It was a Canadian kids show, I think, called Fly Tales, but it was quite violent. Like the insects would die and stuff like that, and I used to watch this show because of the violence. I was like, oh, I like this, is edgy. I can't remember how I found out about it, but this was back when we had Sky Television, so I used to set my alarms really early. And for this like summer, I absolutely loved getting up early because then by the time it was like 9-10 in the morning, it feels like midday, and the day felt like it went on
the
for
day
a lot
is longer.
And that kind of happens now. If I get up early now, like when I had to leave for work yesterday and be there for 7 in the morning, I like being up early.
It's great.
But like today, when I technically didn't have to get up, it is so difficult to get out of bed.
Yes.
That you're like, and it's like, not difficult in like a bad way. It's like, I'm going to get up. I was out of bed by 8:30, so to be truthful. But like that feeling you get of like, if you get up early, you're going to be fine. You experience many early mornings. You can get so much done before the day really begins. And then I'm just in bed like, but it's so warm
and cozy.
And it's cozy, and it's like, and I'm reading stuff on my phone, so I'll you get distracted like that. So, but no,
probably all before the mobile phones. We probably all got up a lot earlier because we wouldn't have anything to.
My granddad will tell you about how he used to get up at like 4 in the morning to go work on the farm, and that wasn't even like to go down to see Fly Tales.
The legend that is Nigel.
Yeah,
Jack's granddad is a wonderful man.
Yeah, he's great. But back to just daylight savings and stuff. Like I've never really had any issue with getting up early or going to bed later. Like it doesn't. I like the change up.
Yeah, it is nice.
Forces me to do something different.
The nice thing that's coming up is because it saves daylight. We have longer days coming up again soon, which is nice because I finally am leaving work and it was sunny when I left work today. Oh, yeah. It lifts the soul.
It does. I remember I was in the kitchen a couple of days ago and I said to you like the sun was streaming through the window and it was just like, it feels so good. You get that vitamin D.
Vitamin D. The clocks are changing really soon.
Oh, there you go.
29th of March.
They go ahead an hour.
Yeah.
They spring forward. Wow.
So at 6 in the morning, it will actually be 7 in the morning. This is the time where everyone's late for work.
Yeah, this is the one that everyone hates.
Yeah, this is the one where everyone becomes late, whereas in autumn, I was about to say fall, I had to really think about that. In autumn, you get an extra hour, and the worst thing that happens is that you turn up to work early.
But do you really lose an hour if you gain it back at the end of the year? Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
You don't technically, do you? You do get it.
Well, that's it, because we're in a leap year this year, and I always find that fascinating that the year is not a year and because we have that overspill of time, we gain an extra day every 4 years.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so...
And also, if you're born on that extra day,
yes,
you only have a birthday every 4 years.
Yeah. There's that really funny advert that, what's his name? Guy who plays Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, he's got that gin, and he put an advert out where there was this lady, and she was finally celebrating her 21st birthday, which is when you can drink in America, and she had some of his gin and very much enjoyed it. But it was really funny because obviously she's not 21, she's 4 times that.
Oh, I see. It was about the leap year thing, yeah.
So she's like, I can finally have a legal drink. I remember when I was a child, like, because I think a lot of children go through that thing where you're like, I want to be very special and unique. Thinking, I wish my birthday was a leap year, so that I could have funny birthdays.
I honestly wouldn't mind if my birthday.
You've got a special birthday.
Yeah, my birthday for the listeners is on Christmas Eve, but you know how I feel about my birthday. It's it's not really like a big deal for me. So it's like I wouldn't even mind if my birthday was on the leap year because that'd be kind of more interesting to be like, no, you don't get to celebrate my birthday.
Yeah.
What
do you do? Do you celebrate it the day before? Do you celebrate it the day after?
I guess there's no rules. I guess you can do whatever you want. You could go like, I want my birthday on March 15th. And everyone's like, why? And you're like, because my actual birthday only comes around every 4 years.
Yeah. You'd be like, my mother has 2 birthdays because my granddad got her birthday wrong.
Yeah, for a good majority of
So when my granddad
childhood.
and my nan split up, my granddad ended up raising 8 children. Because he was also amazing. But I mean, that's a lot of birthdays to keep track of. And my mother's actual birthday is the 5th of January, and he told her it was the 4th, and she found out on her 18th that it was wrong. And she was like, Father!
So on her 18th she found out...
She was actually still 17.
She was still 17. Oh wait, so she thought it was on the 4th this whole time. So then when she found out it was on the 5th, she had lost the day of being
she
18.
She was a day younger than she thought.
Yeah, I mean, she lost the day being 18 because it was actually the next day. So
yes.
It was like, oh, I'm still 17.
She's still 17. So, so she couldn't do all the legal things that you could do as an 18-year-old. She had to wait another day, which is how she found out she needed to get identification, which is great. So, to this day, my mother celebrates 2 birthdays. And like the Queen.
When did the clocks go back on the 25th of October?
Yeah, earlier this year. Oh. I'm very aware of this, so I run an event where I work, and it's a light parade through a woodland, and we have to wait for it to go dark before we can walk. And when they first started this event, the clocks changed really early on in the school holidays, so it wasn't too late for all the young uns.
Yeah.
And as I have been there, the clocks have always changed really late in the event, so you end up walking really, really late, and everyone's tired. So we're very excited this year that the clock's changing early. That's a very unexciting story.
You won't be there to...
Double down by the fact that I won't even be there, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll be on maternity leave. No! I won't get to enjoy it.
You won't care.
No, I won't. I'm going to be happy and sleep deprived. I'm very looking forward to that. Which is nice. Sandringham Time.
We'll probably be at home watching TV or something.
Probably. I'll go to one of them. For sure.
I'll take the little one.
Yeah. Sensory. They'll love it. So the custom of Sandringham Time, the extra half an hour, carried on after Edward, King Edward. The others went, yeah, sounds like a good idea. So King George V, he was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's carry on with that. But then apparently there were so many confusions that the extra half an hour caused that were heightened during the last hours of George. So as he was passing, the next king, King Edward VIII, abolished it.
Oh.
So King George VI and our Queen chose not to restore it.
Oh.
Yeah, which is interesting.
So was that...
So it doesn't exist anymore.
So that only existed on that estate?
Yes.
Why were they so opposed to that?
Because it caused too much confusion. They basically sat around, being all kingly, and went, this is a blummin' faff. I'll have none of it.
But how often were they in Sandringham?
I think it's quite popular. I think they go to Sandringham quite a lot, the royal people.
I was going to say, how often are they actually there? Because they've got royal duties and stuff.
Yeah, do they?
Especially back in but I mean, especially back in those days.
Yeah.
Because it takes how many days to travel somewhere?
I guess it's if they were doing stuff in the area.
Oh, I guess actually that would mean they'd be there for longer because they'd be like,
I've just done a chunk of stuff in Norfolk.
Yeah.
For a while.
Okay, that makes sense.
I actually didn't know Sandringham was in Norfolk.
Did you not?
I feel like that's
Have you heard of Sandringham Time then before?
I hadn't heard of Sandringham Time. I feel like I've heard the name. It is in a series of books. It's in the Diana Gabaldon books, the Outlander ones.
Right.
I say Outlander because of the TV show. Cross Stitch was the book version that you get in the UK. And there is a character, the Duke of Sandringham, in that, which is this. I can't remember if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Half an hour late. You know what? I'd love to read it, but I'd have to do some scouring. She wrote an awful lot of books, but I wonder if that's mentioned that he's like late.
You never know with these sort of entertainment sort of things. I'm
especially when they're historic, because it's a historical series.
Yeah, they might have actually
done a little nod to it. That would have been very clever if she has.
Yeah, I've heard of Sandringham Time before.
Sorry.
Too many.
This tea isn't working. Jack just did a proper yawn.
It's got the opposite effect.
Well, it says to take half an hour to just sit and enjoy a tea. So maybe it's...
Before I forget my point.
Yes.
I'd heard of Sandringham Time before, but listening to that story, I'm surprised it even lasted through time. That sounds like the sort of thing that should just be forgotten about. So it must have been written down somewhere.
People love a quirk, though, don't they? Love it. Isn't that a fun fact? Because now, I can guarantee at some point in our lives, someone will bring up Sandringham and we'll did you know that they had their own time? That's going to
be one of our old
on the
people
estate?
stories.
It will.
But
it will.
When, how long ago are we talking? How long ago back? When was King Edward?
It started in 1901 and it ended in 1936.
Oh, so not too long ago then.
No.
Maybe
we'll bring it back. Maybe we'll have Ewins.
They had cars. So why am I worried about how long?
Yeah, zooming around the place with their extra half an hour.
And I even remember you saying that when you were reading that out loud and thinking, "Oh, that's
you really need this
through the First World War and just the start of the Second World War." Wait, what was it? 1936.
Oh, no. Yeah, 36.
So just before the Second World War.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they would have had some cars, especially kings in those days. That's the advent of the car was in that time.
If you can create your own time zone, you can have a car, surely. Yeah. I just imagine just that, because time seems like such a thing that we should have no control over, and it's a scientific fact that just exists, but really it's a complete construct that we've made to measure things, isn't it?
Well, we constructed it through patterns. So looking at the night sky and seeing how many times the sun and moon rise and which stars align in certain places in the night sky. This is hundreds of thousands of years ago. Hundreds of thousands, but like as far as we know, it was like 15,000, 20,000 years ago. Maybe even that number's too like recent. They worked out these patterns. They were looking at the sky for for such a long amount of time that they worked out. Hang on a second, this turns up here, and then from that they derived the clock, which we still use. So it's like,
wasn't it from ships? That's what kicked it off.
That's navigation with the using the stars.
I remember going to, because I lived near Greenwich when I went to university, and they've got obviously it's Greenwich Mean Time. Have you been to the museum up there? I think
we've been out. We've been out. You and I went outside.
I think so.
Wasn't that when we went to go see The Artist? Wasn't that day?
Yes.
Yeah, but we didn't go into the.
So in the museum bit, you can see all old clocks and things, and there was quite a nautical theme. But I can't remember if that's because that's how time started, or if it's because there was also a naval college in Greenwich.
Time started before the advent of ships.
Yes, but as in time as we know it now, like clocks and things.
Well, I guess like time zones and all that sort of stuff would have come about probably more.
Yeah.
When it spread across the globe via ships. I'm thinking like Greek sundials. I'm thinking.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which tell the time.
Yeah.
With the shadow of the sun.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really fascinating that they notice these patterns, and obviously as time goes on, things change. So I don't know, when was the leap year? When was the first time?
Yeah, when did they figure that out?
When did they figure that out?
And who figured that out?
Well, there's going to be an answer.
There's got to be that one deciding person He went, I am the leap year guy. What did you do in your life? Leap years.
I can probably, obviously we're just riffing here. We could just Google it, but we don't know. Like,
life's more fun when you don't Google sometimes.
Yeah. I have a prediction then. Let's see if we can find out if I'm right or wrong. I have a prediction that the leap year was discovered at around the same amount of time. I don't think it was a later discovery. I think in order to make it work, it was who's the 2012 Doomsday Clock people? Oh God.
Oh, the Mayans.
Mayans, right? So they had a clock that went all the way up to X amount of dates.
Yes.
Including 2012.
That's gone now, hasn't it?
Well, we're 2020. We're
well past 2012. Obviously,
well past that
I mean, the end of the calendar is gone.
I don't know if they even had an end of a calendar because it's like you can just keep going. But do they predate the? Yeah, they go way back. But then there's other people before them. I think that this is my history. I could be completely talking out my butt here. The Babylonians and the Mesopotamians, but even before them had time. So you really look at. We could even be talking prehistoric humans.
They would have done something to like figure out the days and.
Yeah. Well, here's something even weirder though. Right. This is what I don't. This is what I don't. I understand, but at the same time, you can't put yourself in their shoes to fully understand how they grasp it. So, Mum used to have two dogs, Honey and Murphy, right? Mm-hmm. Murphy was this black Labrador cross Springer Spaniel.
Thought he was a puppy, even to the very end.
Yes, he acted like a puppy till the very end. However, when Mum would go to work, Mum had this work day where she would leave at like 8:30, and she would come home at around 2 or 1:45, 1:30 time, and then she would go take the dogs for the walk. There you go. So Murphy would be on the couch asleep, and then around 1:45, around 1:10, between that sort of time frame, he would run to the window and look and wait for Mum.
Oh.
Every single day at the exact same time. How he knew how many hours passed.
Yeah.
How he could. I don't know. I can understand like that. It's
the light. There must be something.
Lights, smells. I don't know. This must be something to do with their internal clock that just tricks it. But I was like, but you can't tell the time. So how do you know that this is the right time that you should go to the window? Because she should be back soon. It's like he wasn't dead on. He wasn't like I'm going straight to the window as she's pulling in. He would go up to the window and wait for her, but he would watch, knowing that she would be there soon enough. So it's like he was almost there, but not quite, but still close enough for it to be a weird phenomenon. But obviously dogs do this all the time. So it's like, I don't know how they do it.
Well, it's funny as well, because sometimes animals just seem to have absolutely no concept of time.
Yeah.
Which is why, because I remember seeing the dogs, or you were telling me about like how your mum would go up into the loft to get something, and Honey and Murphy would be beside themselves, like, this is it, we'll never see her again. She's left us. I miss her so much. And she'd be gone for like 2 minutes. And then she'd come back down. They're like, you've returned.
Yeah, they're really happy.
I'm so pleased. Oh, they were so sweet, those dogs. Jack's mum is the best dog mama.
She's a very dog lover person.
She's so amazing. Like, if you are Tracy's dog, you are living the best life. She's got little Eddie now.
Yeah.
Who is just the most...
Oh, he's just the soppiest thing.
Oh, he's so sweet.
And he's so well trained as well.
Yeah.
But then, what was another thing about animals and time? I just thought of something, and I can't remember what it was. No, I'll have to come back to it. It's something to do with animals and how they can weirdly tell the time. Obviously, like animals, birds know when to chirp in the mornings, but that's more
to do
to do
with the sun, I think.
Yeah, partly.
If Disney taught me anything.
Partly, like some cockerels, I remember cockerels, they caw whenever they want to. So it's like, they do it in the mornings, but Ross's cockerel used to caw before the sun was even there. Just start.
It's my time.
It's just like, oh, for God's sake.
The dawn
it was really
chorus.
Annoying. Yeah. But I don't know how they sort of know when that is without knowing a clock. That was what I was going to mention. Body clocks, we all do have a kind of weird internal body clock.
Yes, because if you if you're really worried about getting up of a morning, you tend to wake up before your alarm.
Yes.
If you're
because you're sort of pseudo awake.
Yeah, but like something wakes. Like I always find something wakes me up.
I will, something like a dream or something wakes you up, and then you're like, oh god, and then you're like, oh, I'm 15 minutes.
My alarm's going to go off in a bit.
Yeah, that's always weirded me out, because it's like, that means you're half awake, half asleep, because you have to be awake to be kind of aware of how long it's been, but you're not actually watching the time. So to me, that's the closest we can get to feeling what Murphy would have felt. That's as close as I guess. That's what it must felt like for him. It's like, okay, it must be near the time she's coming home.
So I'll go back.
Yeah, I'll go look at the window.
That's fascinating, isn't it? Time.
Yeah.
Space.
But it's not. But I would argue it's not a made up thing, because we know. Not to get too deep here. Well, we're going to get deep. We know time moves forward.
Yes, because there's that whole time travel thing, isn't there? Like, is it Stephen Hawking said time travel is possible, but you would only be able to go forwards in time. You would never be able to go backwards in time.
Not necessarily. So, well, I think, I don't know if Stephen Hawking said that, but there was this one, the one theory is that if you were to build a time machine, that's the first thing. You have to build a time machine first. But if you build the time machine and switch it on, that is the furthest point you can go back to, as soon as the machine is switched on.
I think it's
so you could go forward in time, but
like
you could also
with
go
modern,
back.
like with the science that we know at the moment, with the things that we know, if you could move fast enough, faster than light, you could go forwards in time.
And then backwards.
But you couldn't go backwards.
No, that's the theory, is if you could go fast and speed light, you could go backwards in time.
Really?
Yeah. But it's a cockamamie theory.
If we can time travel, if between now and the next podcast we can time travel, then we will have to go back in time to Sandringham Time.
And ask King Edward VII.
And be like, King Edward VII, can you clear something up? Is this because the Queen is late all the time, or do you want to do some more hunting? / can we have a cup of tea? And can we review it for our podcast?
And he'll be like, I don't understand most of what you just said, because you're speaking...
What is this words?
What's this? Podcast?
Why are you dressed so abhorrently?
Yeah.
What's wrong with your hair?
And where did you come from? We're like, look, we're talking about your time zone in 2020.
Yeah, you think we're weird? You've created your own time zone.
That has lasted.
You're strange.
Yeah, it's done good.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I've got, reviewing this tea, I've been enjoying this tea very much through our conversation. This is the perfect tea and chat cup of tea.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Glowing review. The perfect tea for the very thing that she is recording. My goodness, this is an 11 out of 10 review. The perfect tea and chat tea. Sandringham Time. King Edward VII is smiling in his grave as I speak. That's it. Podcast over. Never going to make another episode again.
There's no point going any further. We've peaked.
Peaked is only downhill from here.
It's just... Well, we've done, it's a delicious tea. There's been a lovely little tidbit of info on the front here that sparked quite a nice conversation that I've enjoyed. It's not to love.
In all honesty, I've really enjoyed this tea.
There we go.
Except for the fact that I did a big old yawn, which means it kind of was counterintuitive. Yeah,
it's going to lose some points for making you yawn.
I think this is my honest review now.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's
a tea.
It is a tea.
It's got a nice taste.
It's not got a defining characteristic.
Well.
Other than I've just really enjoyed drinking it and
chatting
tea.
I'll say this. Here's its defining characteristic for me. And it's going to sound a bit like an oxymoron here. Its defining characteristic for me is neutrality. It's very neutral.
Okay.
It's like, it's a black tea, but it's not too strong. And it tastes nice with milk. That's good. Tastes like tea. And it's...
I think it's also heightened by the fact, due to the lack of caffeinated tea I've been having, I'm just like, woo!
I am buzzing a little bit more now,
yeah.
as you can probably tell. My speech in this episode has probably gone from like 1 to 11.
Yeah, the volume.
They're like, oh yeah.
Look out, everyone. No, really nice.
Yeah, really good.
Nice one, Norfolk and Nelson. We've got Nelson and Norfolk, in fact. We've got more of their teas coming up. The next episode will be another one of theirs, I think.
Really?
We've got 2 more in the cupboard.
Sponsor us.
But no, this is really nice. Yeah. I think we'll wrap things up there, Jackass.
Yeah, just think about time, folks.
Yeah.
We know it goes forward. That's as much as we know, and we know its patterns, so people made clocks. There you go.
there you go. Take some
Still
time.
A mystery. Take
some time. Get to your home and create your own little time zone for yourself to ensure that you have half an hour to have a cup of tea. And
I think I do have my own time zone.
You do have it. You are your own time zone.
Yeah.
I don't know how you function on such an erratic schedule.
I love it.
I know.
Every day's great.
Me and Jack are very much polar opposites in many ways, from our hair colour to the way we function in time. But it works.
Well, it has to work. We've got the little one on the way.
That's going to be handy.
That's going to be really handy.
Jack's night owl nature.
Mm-hmm. I can look after it in the morning and I'll be fine.
Morningness.
I was about to say morning Sue, but like...
Morning Sue. I'm a morning Sue. So, thank you everyone. Thank you for listening this week. So, we've got another tea review coming in a fortnight. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you guys are listening to this podcast, because I've found, so now you've got all these fancy apps and things on analytics on the stuff, and there seems to be all sorts of different ways of hearing podcasts now. But wherever you're listening to it, if you could say hello, please do.
Give the podcast a 5-star review, even if you hate it, because that helps us get found.
If anyone's listening on iTunes, it would be super, super helpful for you to leave a review or a star rating, just because it bumps you up in the search. And at the moment, if you search tea on iTunes, this one doesn't come up.
Yeah, bump it, folks.
Give us a bump. But yeah, it was great. I hope you all enjoyed your cup of tea, if you're having one as you're listening to this. And we will be back soon. In a fortnight. Toodaloo!